Welcome to Module 1, Understanding Your Target Market. This is Video 4, How to Find Your Ideal Clients. So here is what we're going to cover: how to find your ideal client, 4 ways to find your clients, and how to communicate your message when it comes to attracting your ideal client. So having an ICP to guide your marketing is really the difference between having a really laser targeted approach, strategic marketing effort, and versus throwing really mud against the wall and having that shotgun approach. It's night and day when it comes to your results, when it comes to prospecting a niche market versus being or trying to be anything and everything to everyone. So now that you know who you're talking to and what they need, it's time to start getting your message out. So how can you do that? There are many ways. We'll talk about 4 of them right now: content marketing, LinkedIn prospecting, which is something that I'm big on, digital marketing, and relationship building. Ideally, what you really want is a stream of prospects that are coming to you and not necessarily you going after them. So content marketing, creating content that resonates with your ideal client is highly, highly important. Providing tips and information that positions you as an expert or authority in solving their specific problems. Posting content on platforms that your ICP is actually on. So for example, right now, if you're going after a younger audience, chances are LinkedIn or Facebook may not be where you're going to find them. You'll probably find them on TikTok and Instagram, and vice versa. If you are going after an older demographic, you're not going to find them on TikTok or Instagram, but you will find them on Facebook, for instance. So writing
Yeah,
blogs, posting on LinkedIn, creating YouTube videos, recording podcasts. Really, the content marketing itself, it's almost endless so long as you're a little bit creative. And with the help of AI, you don't even need to be creative. Andy?
yeah, for sure. And I think where we get caught up, and you see this a lot on LinkedIn, is that advisors and realtors and mortgage brokers or whatever are just posting images that are industry related. And those don't tend to resonate as well as something that's more personal that somebody can identify with. And when we're talking about your ideal client profile, let's say, for example, that you part of your ideal client profile is men or couples that are in their late 50s, early 60s. Well, demographics show that 10% of men in that age group really have some kind of connection or affinity or passion for vintage cars. So maybe you'll use an image of a vintage car or talk about a vintage car show and somehow relate that to what you do to attract the attention of that demographic, right? That's especially going to be true when you're talking about Facebook. And as Ermos mentioned, the older demographic is going to be on Facebook. And there is no shortage of ideas when you tap into the plethora of kind of GBT type of things out there, AI, whether it's Chat GBT or Copilot or whatever. Type in something. Give me 10 ideas for images that would resonate with this target audience, right? And employing things like Canva, and there's a wave of other type of infographic sites like freepick.com, visualcapitalist.com, vengage.com that have infographics in there. You have no excuse to not be able to create content to target your ideal client.
Yeah, and if it's really LinkedIn that you're looking at, go back into school. There's going to be another entire course based around LinkedIn because that is a really fantastic way for advisors to get clients. Speaking of LinkedIn, so LinkedIn prospecting. So it's an awesome opportunity for you to reach out to prospects that are already on LinkedIn based on your ideal client profile. So if we picked one, for instance, Andy, you mentioned realtors. If you want to go after realtors, well, you can literally just type in a search for realtors, and guess what? Thousands or tens of thousands of realtors will show up, and now you can have an opportunity to connect with them. With a more targeted approach to your prospecting, you will absolutely see a better response and conversion rate. And not to go down that whole LinkedIn rabbit hole, but I'll give you a perfect example of how, or a simple example of how this would work. If you are going after realtors, there are certain pain points that realtors have in common. If you're posting every single day content that addresses their needs, that shows them solutions to what their problems are, you will automatically start to attract those realtors to your LinkedIn profile. And then the more and more they read about what you're doing, guess what? Your standing moves up, and now they look at you as an authority. So now when you reach out to them and try to book a call, or they may even reach out to you to book a call because they've seen enough where they actually want to have a conversation with you. So this is a very, very powerful strategy. It absolutely works. I've worked with many advisors on LinkedIn strategies, and they have actually got quite a few clients from it. Digital marketing. So although it's not free, it is an opportunity to get in front of more eyeballs. So whether it's ads through Google Meta or even LinkedIn again, at the end of the day, you don't necessarily have to spend a lot of money. But if you want to kind of fast forward your progress, you can create the content and pay a little bit for ads, or you don't have to pay for ads. You know, the better your content is, the more likely you're going to attract people anyways. And Andy kind of touched on this already. With all these design tools that are out there, including Canva, you do not need to be an expert when it comes to being creative to create these awesome, captivating graphics. I know for myself, I'm awful when it comes to being creative, and Canva has been a lifesaver for me. Now, this relationship building one is a little bit interesting. So if imagine this, you have built your entire practice around a certain ideal client. We'll call it an engineer. Well, we know that engineers hang out with other engineers because that is their vocation. That is, or the people they hang around with, whether it's they make friends at work or whatever it is. At the end of the day, there's a very good chance that if you are going after engineers, that one engineer client that you have knows dozen, 2 dozen, maybe 100 other engineers. So there is no better advertising than really providing amazing world-class service to your clients. Because if you can deliver that sort of value to them, then they're more likely to want to refer their friends and family to you. So the value comes from the content that you're sending to them, the advice, and more importantly, the customer experience. So being able to deliver a world-class experience with your clients is a sure way to help build your business the proper way by actually getting more and more referrals. So Andy, I'm going to get you to talk about this one because this is now something or a template that you can actually use to kind of dig a little bit deeper to really connect with your ideal client. Andy?
Yeah, so as it kind of says on there, usually a person's problem isn't just one thing. There's lots of different things in there, right? Just like you may go to a doctor and they ask you, generally speaking, about your overall health. What else, what else has been going on? Like what's the main reason you came here, but what else is going on? How's your sleeping? How's your weight been? Have you had any other aches and pains? So really it's rarely just one problem, right? And you start with the symptoms. And in the case of financial planning, let's give the example there for you advisors. What you might be trying to tap in with a potential client is the symptom, which is the fear or uncertainty of about retirement readiness. And the effect is stress and anxiety regarding financial security, or difficulty in envisioning a comfortable lifestyle, lack of clarity, concerns about outliving their savings and not having enough, that's just causing that kind of physical and mental reaction. Well, the core problem really is they know what they're doing is inadequate. They have an inadequate retirement plan or no plan at all. And the root cause of that is maybe distrust for financial services and advisors, or misunderstanding or underestimation of what retirement planning is all about. A lot of people just think it's about investing, but obviously we know there's a lot more that falls under that umbrella. So really identifying the symptom, the core problem, and the root cause is going to help really identify with a client and present value that they can understand.
And I would also throw in there, Andy, a lot of times it's intimidating. I mean, think about what we do as financial advisors. There is just so much information. There's just so much data that even we get confused sometimes, uh, not knowing like what's the absolute best strategy for XYZ client. So how would a client be able to know all this information? They can't. So it is intimidating. There are many reasons why people are worried about their money, but the more you're able to dig deeper and find the actual root cause of what's causing that stress, the far more likely that you'll have to be able to get them as clients. Now, we're talking about niching, which is effectively what we're talking about here with your ideal client. But just so you know, the more that you dig down, the more valuable you become to that niche market. An example would be somebody might say, well, my niche market is female entrepreneurs. Okay, that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you dug a little bit deeper and say, okay, it's female entrepreneurs that actually work in the health and wellness industry, or it's female entrepreneurs that happen to be CEOs, or female entrepreneurs that are small business owners, the further you dig deeper, the more valuable that you become, which makes you stand out more from every other advisor. So that's something that you really should consider when it comes to niching down. So here's your template that you can actually use now. So you should ask yourself these questions. So who do you help? So I help, and then it's the audience that you serve, which would be your ideal client. I solve these problems, and then you list them out. And the solutions I offer are XYZ, and the way I'm going to deliver it is through ABC. So the example again is I help, I solve, the solutions I offer, and then your actual method. I will give you an example of mine. So who do I help? I help financial advisors. I solve their problem of not having enough clients. The solutions that I offer are personalized coaching, along with valuable tools and videos that teach advisors on how to get more clients. And then the method that I use is using my Client Acquisition Academy course. So that will be a perfect example of what you can do with yours. So here's the best part. Now it's your turn. Take the template that we just talked about, create your ideal client communication, and post it in school for feedback and coaching from myself and Andy and really other advisors as well. So here's your opportunity. It's not just about getting the information. It's about getting the information and now taking the action. So we've given you everything that you need to create your ideal client profile along with your communication style. Take this opportunity to create one of your own and post it into school. And we are happy to coach you on that. Andy?
Yeah, it's amazing to know what kind of clarity you can achieve when you write things down and you offload it from your brain. It's now not occupying that space up there, and it gives you a clear roadmap and really allows you to focus your attention where you want it to. And so we really do encourage you to write these things down as we put in it, share it in the community, and get that feedback, because it's hard to see the picture when you're in the frame. So getting that outside feedback can really help give you food for thought.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, I mean, we really are here to help. We want to help you get more clients. We want you to be more successful. So take advantage of this opportunity. We're here to help, and we'd love to hear from you and see what you come up with. So this is the end of video 4. And our next video that's coming up will be video number 5, which is market research strategies.